Hey, friend. So I figure you might not know me yet. If you do, that means that you probably come here from Instagram world or real life. So hi, we'll get to know each other pretty soon. I'm Annie. Actually, you know what? Before we get started, I want to sit down and chat with you. But I'm going to put my phone away so we can be together, you know? At some point you're going to hear me talk about this RO box because you'll hear me talk about it a lot. But I'm going to put my phone in it to be super intentional with you during this time. So lately, I have been loving getting up before the kids. Some days they're up with me. I've got two little kids. I've got, at this point, JP is 4 and Charlie just turned 2, boy, then girl. And I have loved, oh my God, journaling. I did a workout class yesterday, boot camp style, and I genuinely get nervous about sitting down and going downstairs. I don't know if you're like me, but I have zero chill when it comes to doing a class with my friends. I was an athlete growing up, and yeah, I'm about as competitive as they come. And for some reason, I think that my very first time doing a boot camp style workout class is going to be the best time to pretend as if I am training for the Olympics or something. So my quads are going to the bathroom is interesting right now. Back to my mornings. I really am a huge believer in and supporter of journaling, gratitude, actively seeking gratitude. By the way, just hold on. Before I go any further, if you're listening to this on my podcast on Refined Joy, hi, I'm so glad you're here. But there's also this new element that I feel this calling and stirring inside me to start a YouTube channel. So if you're watching this and you're watching my face and my lips flap, I'm so glad you're here. And I love having you part of this world. And the coolest thing is I have this really weird ability to be able to zoom out on my life and say, like, this is not even my best work. That was actually something that I said when I started my podcast over a year ago. I'm like, this isn't even my best work. And I'm okay with that. So maybe all you need to take away from this is being encouraged to start and take messy action and do the thing that you feel on your heart, in your soul, like you should be doing. You're like, could I? I don't know. Try it. I don't know. This might flop, or I might become as obsessed with doing YouTube videos as I have with podcasting. I obviously like to talk. So it's just a cool extra element of having you here. My lighting is terrible. This video quality is not top notch. Don't care. I'm really glad you're here. So I'm recording this while remember I've told you about the two kids that I have. Um, they're both napping same time. Amazing. So this is the ultimate gift. Today is my birthday while I am recording this. I turned 35 today. I love my 30s. And in typical like deep thought Annie fashion, I felt like I needed to just journal this morning before the kids got up. And I don't know if this is going to make sense to everybody, but it's such a big deal for me to, especially lately, to really let my own thoughts flow before I let other people's thoughts influence my own thinking, meaning social media and the like anything on my phone, even if it's a text message or whatever, right? So I've seen this, it's like it's borderline cheesy to do this whole like I'm turning 35, so I'm going to talk about 35 different XYZ things. But I felt this big, I just started writing 1 through 35 in my notebook. This is my daily journal, by the way. It's a yellow composition notebook. Pretty sure I probably bought it for one of the kids at some point and then just took it as my own because it was still blank. This is where I get the most powerful parts of me out on paper. And I think it's because it's not fancy that makes it feel so good and that gets me to actually do it because it doesn't feel like there's a whole bunch of pressure. I mean, this just flowed out of me today. I probably could have come up with more. And what might sound weird to somebody else is I think past versions of Annie probably would have cared so much what somebody else thought of my list and wanting to make my list perfect that I probably would have like Pinterest searched birthday thoughts, birthday goals, or I would have like saved somebody else's post that had done something similar in the past and gone back and read what they read. Are you with me on this? It felt so good this morning to completely keep my phone in my box, have it away, and to just let things flow out of my brain. There's a sense of clarity that has come. That box, by the way, that RO box, I will talk about it until my face is blue. The clarity that I've gotten from the space that I've created between me and my phone has been life-changing. And I think that's a really overused term. But in this case, for me, it's true. So okay, let me just give you like a 1-minute spiel on the RO box. It basically gamifies being away from your phone. So instead of the like horrible feeling that you get when you get the screen time report on your phone, that's like, you spent 7,000 hours on your phone this week, you piece of crap. You can actually put your phone in this box, this physical box. It's beautiful. It sits in my kitchen. And when you pull it out, it connects via Bluetooth. And when you pull it out, it'll actually ask you, like, how did you spend your time? And you get to put in there whatever you want. There are some saved answers, but you get to basically be like, I had one-on-one time with my kid. I had a date night with my husband. I did a puzzle. I read a freaking book. Like, wow, doing all the things that you say you want to do is really cool. Okay. I'll put in the show notes of the podcast and of the YouTube video a code that you can use to get some money off. It is the greatest investment of peace in your home. At least it has been in mine, and I think it's worth you trying. So, without further ado, would you like to get into this with me? I think this was really fun for me. I love journaling. I love reflecting. I love talking. This is in no particular order. So I'm going to read through these and I'll probably riff a little bit on it. So sit tight. I'm glad you're here, by the way. I hope you're having a good day. And if you're not, I hope this makes it better somehow. Number 1, community is everything. Community is everything. I'm going to link my top 3 favorite books that I have read in the last, I'll say, just year about friendship. Find Your People by Jenny Allen, Made for People by Justin Whitmel Earley. That one is like over the top incredible to me. It genuinely has shifted the way that I approach friendship and the way that God made us to be with other people. It's so incredible. I think I've mentioned it on almost every single one of my podcasts. And I'll put the third one in the notes because I can't think of it right now. But for some reason, while I'm recording a video like this, I feel this strange pressure to have this ongoing conversation so that there's no edits and that there's no blank space. So, anyways, number 2, best moments in life aren't captured on a phone. The best moments in life are not captured on a phone. Number 3, don't marry for compatibility. There's a really beautiful thing that happens when you and your partner for life, you create this covenant bond when you and your partner for life are actually not alike in some ways, whatever ways. It's actually this really beautiful thing that happens when you make each other better and you have the ability to see another side of things or to be encouraged by something that you weren't or you wouldn't have normally been encouraged by. Having a best friend and marrying your best friend is great. It is great. And it is so important. And as I get older, I realize just how much I would genuinely love just being around Todd all the time. And in a really cool way, I've learned that my friends also help fill the gaps. That's like going back to number 1. This is going to take forever for me to get through this, isn't it? My friends help fill the gaps because Todd doesn't have to be my everything. You with, like, do you understand this? Your spouse, your partner doesn't have to be your everything and doesn't have to think like you and doesn't have to like all the same hobbies as you. There's this really beautiful thing that happens when you actually see that somebody else is different from you. And it's this, like, I don't know. Man, our it's like the typical, like all the stupid love songs. Our marriage, I think, is better now than it was 10 years ago and when we were dating. Anyways, number 4, find time to sit alone with God, period. Number 5, create space to be in your own thoughts regularly. Number 6, put your phone away at meal times and important conversations. One of the things that I've learned from my friends at Aro, it's ARO, by the way. One of the things that I've learned is that all it takes is one pickup of the phone to completely ruin a conversation with somebody, to feel like your attention is gone or their attention is gone. Especially like if you have kids, put your phone down and look them in the eyes when they come into the room. So important. Do that for your spouse too, all your loved ones. Number 7, turn off the news. Number 8, seek gratitude actively. That is something that goes into this journal. Whoa, hey, it's also got all kinds of other things. On a daily basis, I write 3 bullet points of gratitude, and they are not my health, my family, my marriage. They are, see if I can read you some. Let's see, this chilly weather, sitting outside in the morning routine with a cozy blanket. They're very specific. The way Todd calmed and comforted me last night when he came home, it was just what I needed. Puzzling with JP and Todd. Just being able to hang out at my friend Penny's house. I mean, it's just like the little things that you might overlook. That is the entire premise of unrefined joy. It's like the little things that you might not necessarily notice, that when you know that in the morning you are going to actively be writing these 3 things down, your brain is going to seek these things out throughout your day. I like this one. These 2 might make me cry. Oh, number 9, be the first to say, I love you. Number 10, be the last to let go when hugging. Who knew I'd get so emotional over this? Number 11, grand vacations aren't always as necessary as we think. I think one of the things that I want to, like the soapbox that I want to continue to stand on, and especially on this YouTube channel and just in my podcast and just in my life in general, is creating a life that you don't need a vacation from. And I know that it's not about taking a vacation from, like, do you need a break every once in a while? Yeah. But when you can create these little sips of, like, tiny little sips of air as you go through your life, and life doesn't feel so hurried and rushed, it just becomes so much more beautiful. And then you can really enjoy your vacations or your trips or your whatever a lot more. I remember in the early days of motherhood, I know I'm still in the early days of motherhood, but like early days of motherhood, I used to have this debilitating feeling of needing my time, any time that I got away from JP, to be so worth it. I I hope I eventually forget about this, but I will never forget the time that I had a full blown breakdown while shopping at Costco. It was my first time grocery shopping while JP was 3 months old, maybe. And I remember texting Todd, and I had like decision fatigue, and I like couldn't figure out what I wanted to shop for. I mean, this is postpartum hormones at its finest. And I just remember texting him being like, this is not a luxury. This is not a vacation for me. This is not a break. This is hard work. I'm grocery shopping. Ah! And I just completely unraveled on him, the poor guy. And he's like, it's okay. You can take it. Of course, he said all the nice things. You don't even need to hear that. Of course he did. But the thing is, getting myself into this calmer place. And I actually think are we overdoing the whole nervous system regulation thing? Are we overdoing that? Or is it still like something that we're working towards? I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like we're teetering on the overdoing it, talking about it, where like, maybe it's just my world that I'm living in. I do believe in regulating your nervous system. And I think that it needs to be given some tangible tips as opposed to just talking about it. I digress. Okay, let's get back to it, because actually the next 2 for me are the biggest things I've done to regulate my nervous system. Number 12, simplify, simplify, simplify. I literally wrote it 3 times. Your schedule and your life. Less, but better. Essentialism, great book to read. The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer, incredible book to read. Simplicity Parenting, oh my word. Like these books are top notch. Next one, number 13, declutter, then declutter again, and then again. When I tell you, oh man, how do I put this lightly? You got too much stuff. I got too much stuff. I still do. I have taken well over a year to begin. I'm using big old air quotes here to begin my decluttering journey. I thought I've done this so many times in the past, and I would get so frustrated about trying to organize all my things. And then somebody said this thing to me that was like, oh, it's not that you're bad at organizing. It's just that you have too many things to organize. And I was like, oh my kids are happier. My kids are calmer. Our home is calmer. I'm calmer. I used to tell myself, I used to lie to myself. I didn't realize I was lying to myself at the time. I used to tell myself all the time that I would thrive in chaos, that mess didn't bother me, that it like cluttered. I didn't even see clutter. It's just how I grew up, blah, blah, blah. I always had things. Ooh, was I wrong? And I'm those two things, simplifying and decluttering, those will regulate your nervous system. Okay. Next, number 14, bring coffee or dinner to a friend. And the thing is, this is one of those things in life that, at least for me, you might think that you're doing them a favor, or they might think that you're doing them a favor. But the reality is, it makes me so happy to give to others. If you're in a rough spot and you're struggling to get out of a pit, been there, give to others. Try that first, because there is something, I'm sure it's like scientifically proven somewhere, that doing for others and caring for other people is so healing. Number 15, working out really is not just about aesthetics. Like, stop trying to lose weight just to look a certain way. Do it for the long run. Do it for the forever thing. Do it for your vibrancy. Do it for your energy for your kids. Do it for your sustainable calmness and your patience. Do it for, I don't know, do it for you. Do it for the future version of yourself. Let's see. Number 16, never say never. No, really, never say never. Number 17, stop idolizing caffeine. I don't know why I put it that way, but it just when I'm telling you that these just rolled right out of my pen. Yeah, stop idolizing caffeine. The dependence is so real. And the whole, I feel like there's this culture. Am I using that right term? There's a culture now that is a little bit like, it's one of those things that's cute, but it's not. The whole mommy wine culture of like, mommy needs a glass of wine, but there's also like, mommy's so tired, I need another coffee. And I think that these things can be fun. And you know what? You can be as upset as you want. I probably would have been upset hearing this, years ago when I was totally in denial myself. But boy, it's life is so much better when you don't depend on something external to make you happier, less tired, joyful, but when you can find it internal, or when you can find it, like I do, from God. Whew. Number 18, friends come and go. It doesn't make you a bad person. Number 19, don't take it personally. Number 20, start your day without your phone. If you're not already doing that, please try it. Even just like 10 minutes, just try it. Okay. Number 21, everyone is lonely in some way. Don't stay stuck and don't stay there. It's true. Number 22, it's not worth going into debt for most of the time. I put dot, 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 most of the time. Ooh, do I have some stories I could tell with some really great memories? But wow. On the other side of climbing, yeah, whatever. Anyways, moving on. Number 23, keep playing, laughing, and making life fun. Life is supposed to be fun. Did you know that? Did you know that? It is. I promise. I mean it. It really is. Number 24. Massages and caring for your body isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. I believe that. I do. Number 25. This one might be a gut shot. Are you sitting? Are you sitting down? More things won't make you happier. Ouch. Oh, now moving on to this other list. Okay. So that's 25 of them. I turned 35 today. And here's the thing. I decided to do a list of 10 things really personal to me that I kind of wish I could like go back and tell my 25-year-old self roughly, right? Like the last decade. I freaking love my 30s. Did I already say that? I love my 30s. I remember at one point in my 20s looking at like a 32-year-old woman and I was like, oh my God, she's so seasoned and full of wisdom and has it all together. And now I'm like, you know, I don't have it all together, but I really like where I'm at. Okay. So again, these are things that I'm going back to tell my 25-year-old self. You should really stretch more. It's true. It's true. Number 27, find more time to play golf. I still need to do that. This could be my year for it. This is going to be my year of golf. Yeah, grew up an athlete and played golf in college, and it's just one of those things. A fun fact, weird fun fact. Some of the best golf I've ever played is when I was like 8 and 9 months pregnant with both kids. I don't know what it is. I think I need to get one of those like Hollywood style, like bellies, fake bellies to wear when I play golf. And everybody's gonna be like, wow, she's been pregnant forever. I don't know. Something about the weight distribution, about not, whatever. I digress. Number 28. Here's when it gets serious. Okay. Drinking doesn't make you more fun and doesn't actually allow you the ability to relax. That's a harsh reality for me. Harsh reality. Still learning, still untangling this strange identity crisis shift that has come from reformulating my relationship with alcohol. I actually recorded an episode with a friend of mine named Casey on the podcast about her sobriety journey. And I don't even love using the term sober or sobriety. Brene Brown once talked about this in one of her books, basically saying that sobriety doesn't feel like the right term because it wasn't that I ever had a problem. It was like a numbing thing. The same way that we scroll on our phones or watch TV shows, show after show after show, or just get too into something. That was kind of what drinking had become for me. And this isn't against drinking. I mean, our son, his name is JP. J stands for Jameson. Like he's named after an Irish whiskey. We love booze. I grew up Irish Catholic. I'm Irish and Italian. It's in our culture. And so I think all the more reason why it's been this really bizarre, like still untangling on a daily basis of me not drinking. And I haven't been drinking for the last like almost year. I don't know. It's a very bizarre thing. So that's just what I tell my 25-year-old self. Number 29, it can be cool to talk about Jesus and you will find the right friends. Don't worry. Number 30, people don't actually care how many times you've changed jobs. Just keep going and you will find your thing eventually. To anyone who feels like you just don't know where to go in life, just keep trying things. Just keep trying things and then go down the path that just in your soul feels right. Like this feels right. Working with people and coaching it lights me up on another level. And especially recently in the season of my life, I've been doing small group coaching. And then I've niched down recently where I've been working with moms who want to keep their families as their priorities while they're running small businesses, which to me, I was like, nobody's going to understand. Nobody's going to want to work with me because it's such a small niche and nobody needs permission to do less. And I'm telling you, it has been the most life-giving group of women that I have ever worked with. And just keep going down that path, whatever that path is that just feels right with a little mix of fun, with a big mix of fire underneath you, just keep trying things. This one might make me cry too. Number 31. Your life doesn't end when you have kids. In fact, it begins. Number 32. Yes, you will lose yourself when you have kids, and you will find parts of yourself that you never even knew were there. I feel like at 35, I feel the most like my 10-year-old self that I have felt in my life, of playful, joyful. And I owe so much of that to my kids and to the learning that I've done, and the, you know, I don't even want to call it like research, but things that I have discovered about myself. I mean, I'm like reparenting myself through all of this. I've learned so much about myself because I want to help them. So I have to help myself, right? It's like the greatest litmus test of where you are as a mother is how are you doing, is really like inform how your kids are doing. Number 33, it's okay to part with stuff from your childhood. It won't make you lose your memories. Like the 200 plus Beanie Babies that I had, or the 6 American Girl dolls that I had. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Number 34, stop seeking approval from others / men. The only one that you need is God. Plus, you're going to marry a man that will give you all that you need. Number 35. Here we go. Your life will be even more beautiful than you realize. Hold on tight. Yes, it will be rough along the way, but it will be what makes you appreciate everything along the ride, and don't wish it away. Hi, my love. Good morning. Okay. With that, I have a very important thing to do, and I need to take a boy to Target to go buy a new car with his money. This is going to be really fun. This is so cool. This life is really beautiful, and I hope that you can see that, and I hope that you can see the challenges along the way as really beautiful speed bumps. And yeah, thanks for being here with me, and thanks for listening and watching, and cheers to the future, and not necessarily knowing what the future might hold, but being okay with that. I've used this metaphor once before. I was gifted this idea from another friend at a retreat. And it's the idea of not needing the 30,000-foot view in order to take the next step, but really having faith. And if you believe in God like I do, is the idea of outstretching your arm in front of you and having that lantern in front of you, and that being all of the light that you need to take the next step. And so I hope that encourages you today. I don't know what the next step is right now, but this feels like one in the right direction. And I also believe that even if it's not the right step, that my foot will be moved accordingly. And yeah, I fully trust that. So I'm so glad you're here. I should probably do the whole, spiel of, if you're listening to this on the podcast, if you would give this a rating, a star rating, whatever you think it's worth. And if you're on YouTube, oh my gosh, welcome to my first video. I would love for you to subscribe. Is that what we do here? Gosh, this is so fun. I love being a newbie and beginner at something, that excitement all over again. And thanks for being here with me.